Well, Frederick Smith was the first person to do this for postal services. Actually, about 10 or 15 years earlier, Delta Airlines actually pioneered this hub and spoke model. Now, when we talk about hub and spoke, right, you might, for those of you in Minneapolis, you might hear a lot that, oh, you're in Minneapolis, like, oh, that's a Delta major hub. And that essentially means, when looking at this picture, right, that, oh, there's where the dark red lines are, right? A lot of airlines are going into that central hub. And I'm going to actually pull up um, another application here to talk about why this is so revolutionary and what this means for software as well. So we'll put this up. So for one, when we talk about point to point, right, we're talking about basically direct integrations, right? So if I wanted to connect, say, these two applications, that's direct. If I add a third in there, I would need to connect that to this one. But if I need these two to talk, I would also need to do another integration. So that'd be 3 integrations. When we do hub and spoke, it's going to look a little bit more like this. When I say hub and spoke, I mean our data hub framework that we're following here. So that's what this is going to look like. But I want to specifically talk about Delta real quick. So we're going to do a Delta example. Now, why is hub and spoke so powerful? Well, if I have, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different cities here. And what used to happen for mail and for airlines would be I would do more or less direct connections, which is like a direct integration. And so if I want to fly from 2 locations, that would be a direct flight. But if I want to fly from Minneapolis to, I don't know what city that is, Louisville, Kentucky, there would be that. But now, say I want people from Louisville to be able to fly to California. Maybe that's LA. But LA needs to also fly to Oregon. And if I start building out all these direct flights, I get something like this. Um, could this be cleaned up a little bit? Yes, but there's a lot of lines here. There's a lot of flights. That's a lot of operational overhead that I have to care about, right? For example, right, if I am Miami, Florida here, and I need to change a gate or something needs to change, and I need to communicate that out. There's a lot of different flights that care about that, right? I have to tell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different locations about this change. So not only do I need to communicate that out, these guys care about that as well. And I think there's something like, I don't know, 30, maybe 20 different flights that I am showing here when you have just 6 different locations. Where this becomes powerful is, and what Delta said was, this is not scalable. I need something scalable, right? So they pioneered, like I said, the hub and spoke model. This looks a lot cleaner, and I am able to fly people anywhere I need to, just the same as I did over here, but with a lot less flights. And now in this example, right, if something changes with Florida, guess what? They only have to tell Minneapolis. If I'm out in Seattle or California, I don't really necessarily care what's going on here. It's just this team that needs to worry about that. So it's much more scalable, and I'm going to say even much more reliable. There's not going to be this domino effect that's going to hurt as many other airlines if something changes on your end. Okay, another quiz time for Lars. I'm going to give you, I'm looking for numbers here. So if I want to say Minneapolis to Florida, Florida to Minneapolis is 1 flight, right? Like, that's not 2. I get it, you can go both ways, but let's just count that as from city to city, 1 flight. Fair enough so far, right?
Yep.
If I'm using the hub and spoke model, and I'm Delta, and I have 10 different cities to fly to, how many flights do I need to manage?
10.
So close, and I'm so happy you got this wrong. It's actually 9. It's 1 less flight than the amount of cities I need to care about. And this kind of starts to talk about the scalability of this, right? Uh, so here, for example, right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you don't believe me, right, there's 6 cities here. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different flights. So this is powerful, right? I can add on a city, and if I'm using the hub and spoke model, I'm really only adding on a flight. And in fact, there's one less flight than there are the number of cities. As compared to over here, Lars, if I have 10 cities, how many flights do I need to manage if I'm doing point to point?
A lot more.
A lot more. That is correct. And actually, I don't know the number. It's like 45 to 55 different flights that I need to manage. It's a lot. It becomes unscalable and unsustainable. So yeah, just imagine having to add another city here. I'm not just adding one more flight like my other model. I'm adding one, two, three, four, five. It's like 6 different flights just from adding one city. That's a lot of operation overhead for an incremental location. And so this should be no surprise to us that the model that works so well for Delta and for airlines to keep them profitable, the model that revolutionized the way that mail is sent across the country, that same model works extremely well for IT infrastructure as well. So again, just to really drive this point home, if I have point to point and it's a simple integration, sure, do direct, no problem. The issue, though, comes when I want to scale. If I'm a growing company, it's going to start to get chaotic, right? If I need to change something about this integration, there's a lot of different touch points. And heaven forbid, I need to add another application in here. It's going to be even more of a tangled mess. So that's why we want to do this kind of scalable hub and spoke model when we build out integrations. And so that if I want to add another one, say, oh, I don't know, I want to add in HubSpot. It's really only this team, this integration that cares about it. Another, maybe the QuickBooks integration team or the source code over here doesn't care about it. It's much more scalable. And by the way, this is SpellShow database. By the way, all your data is now centralized as well. So you can use your Tableau, Power BI, Data Studio, machine learning, AI to get the analytics that you need at your company to know thyself.